Hello, dear friends, and welcome to this episode, which will be about fasting. And I tried all different types of diets and all different types of fasting, and I want to share with you guys my experience when it comes to fasting. I'm not a medical professional, so please, this is just my own experience. In the beginning, I tried the very long type of fasting, not like a week or something like that, but up to 36 hours. So once every week, I would take then 1.5 days where I would not eat anything as a diabetic. My experience with that was that it was quite difficult. If I would do something active during the day, I could almost not do it because my blood sugar will go down and then it will be a big challenge, or I would need to have it high before, which is not very good as well. Normally for me, my blood sugar slowly rise until lunch, then it becomes quite stable or goes down if I do anything to the evening, and then it would slowly rise again, and also of course in the night it will go up. I did have some hunger. I mean, 36 hours is a long time, but it didn't really bother me so much. It would come in waves, and if I just would let one wave go, it would be fine. And often the longer it went, the easier it became. So the first maybe 24 hours was a bit more difficult, but then the other, around 12 hours would be much easier. It's like my body would kind of get used to it. So it was a challenge in the way that it was hard to do anything active in this period. Health-wise, how I would feel, I mean, it wasn't so different or difficult than how I would feel with these long fasts. I didn't feel anything really in particular. I heard it's very, very healthy and some people, they feel like amazing. I mean, it saved me a lot of time and also some money. But did I feel amazing? No, not really. Did I feel horrible? Also not really. I felt very normal in these 36 hours. It gave me a lot of time, and that was very, very positive. All the time I could use on other things, but how I felt was very normal in these long fasts. Then I also experimented with just one day. So for example, just a Sunday, not like 12 hours more. And that was quite similar. Sometimes maybe even more difficult because that was also the time before when I did longer fast to get used to it in a way. But yeah, in particular, I didn't feel anything special that day that I wouldn't eat. And then I also tried with some shorter fasts more often, like I stopped with breakfast. And for me that was very easy and actually quite nice to not have breakfast, because in the morning I'm not hungry. I don't feel kind of any hunger till around lunch. So that was absolutely no problem. And it also was quite easy with my blood sugar. I would maybe take a little bit of insulin then in the morning, just because it rises for my sake to lunch, and that would be it. And it would also be perfect then anytime almost. So that was also very easy. And if I would do something active, I often didn't need any insulin, because then it would just plateau, kind of the rise in blood sugar would kind of become equal with the activity. So that was actually quite nice to not have breakfast for me, not a meal that I need in any ways, and that was very, very fine. Lately I've also been experimenting a little bit with not having anything after like 6, 7 in the evening. And that's also very nice. I think I sleep a little bit better, and it's also much nicer and much easier with the blood sugar in the evening and in the night. It feels very stable. until I go to bed and during the night. If I have a larger meal later or if I snack, it feels more difficult. So actually that I'm very like happy with the results. I've been doing that now for a while. I'm not super strict about it. Like if I have company or something, if something happens, I can eat a bit later also, but most days I try to keep it as early as possible, 6, 7, and then normally I would go to bed maybe 11, 11:30. So it will be quite some time for the body to have digested everything and yeah, for the blood sugar to stabilize. So that would be maybe then I would eat then next day around 8. So it would be, yeah, not a super long fast, but from like 14 hours or something like that. So, and do that quite regularly. So that I find quite nice. So yeah, the results for me, I think skipping the latest meal in the evenings have been the best. More often around 14, 16 hours with no food, that for me has been giving the best results on my blood sugar, on how I feel. It's very easy to do, implement, very easy, and I think I definitely sleep better and my blood sugar is better from it. But also skipping breakfast was also quite nice, and there was no problem with, I mean, having a day without food, no problem. And it was quite nice to have all this free time to do other things. So maybe I also will come back to that later. But for now, yeah, skipping the last meal has actually been quite wonderful, and I will definitely continue to do that. And you can always discuss the health benefits of a longer fast or a shorter fast, or a longer fast now and then, or like every day have like a bit of a shorter fast, like 14 hours. Of course, there is some different health benefits, but I mean, there are studies that can prove both sides, that you do once a week a longer one, or you do every day 12, 14, 16 hours without food. And I mean, both is beneficial. So that was a little bit about fasting, my experience with it, and I hope something is useful for you guys as well. Please always share your experiences with me, and if there's any smart tips or good experiences, it's super nice to know. See you later.